Well, Jeff, as we move to the end of our conversation, I'd like to thank you for your time and actually for accepting the invitation. Like I said, for us, it's such an honor to have you here. And as usual, I'd like to ask to you, what was your biggest lesson during this incredible history you have with Lean and the Toyota Way? And what is the piece of advice you give to the people that are starting to get in touch with the Toyota Way, with Lean tools and things like this?
So recently, my most recent book I've been reading, and I seem to get excited about whatever book I'm reading at the time, is about a growth mindset. Lately, I've been reading a book that excites me by Carol Dweck, who's a professor at Stanford University in psychology. And she has a book called The Growth Mindset. And she distinguishes between the growth mindset and what she calls the fixed mindset. And in a fixed mindset, you assume everything is fixed, including yourself and your own skills and abilities. And so I'm as good as I'm going to be. I'm as smart as I'm going to be. I am as good at math as I'm going to be. I'm as good a people person at persuading people as I'm going to be. I have those inherent skills, and then I have to use them. But it's not worth trying to improve them because they're what they are. I just have to use them effectively. In fact, if I have to work too hard, then I don't have the skills. And therefore, it's very threatening to me if I fail at anything, because it means I'm a bad person who's not worthy. In a growth mindset, I assume that I'm always evolving, I'm always growing, I'm always getting better. And therefore, where I am today is just a starting point. And I can always get better if I am disciplined, focused, if I know what I want to achieve. I may not have the same skill level at math as Albert Einstein, but I could certainly get better at math and get reasonably good at it if I put my mind to it. And that made me think that really the essence of the Toyota Way is to foster this growth mindset. So they want all their leaders to be thinking that all their employees, the people who work for them, all have the potential to be great and to do great things. It's not going to happen automatically just because they say, you're great, you're wonderful, I value you, but I have to develop you. So we have to figure out a plan between us on what you want to focus on, what your challenges are, what your objectives are. And then we have to work together for you to practice, develop the skills, and achieve those objectives. And then you will feel more confident, you'll feel great, and you'll also be grateful to me, and you'll want to be a good employee, and you want to do what I asked you to do. So it's a very win-win situation, but only if we both agree that we can improve. I can improve myself. I have a lot of strengths and weaknesses. You can improve yourself. You have a lot of strengths and weaknesses. And together we're going to work to get better. So that really struck me as a key insight. So then I started thinking back to the different leaders I've worked with who don't get Lean, don't get the Toyota Way, and each one, it seems in retrospect, had a fixed mindset. This tool is what it is. Kanban is what it is. So we implement it, and we better succeed. Otherwise, I'm a failure. So it has to succeed. And I think that leads to the mindset that there's a fixed set of tools that we implement. So many companies have an assessment, a Lean assessment. And I'm assessing whether you have a good pull system and continuous flow and mistake proofing and andon and how quickly people respond to the andon. And then if you have all those things in place, you get a high score. But from a growth mindset, I don't really care if you have those things in place. What I care is how you're using them. Maybe you have half the tools of another part of the company, but you're using what you have more effectively to achieve your goals, and you're improving faster, and you're learning more. So you should get a higher grade than someone that's missing, that has all the tools. And I was trying to communicate that in the past to some of the companies I've worked with, that if a plant, say a manufacturing plant, is using 3 tools well and they're improving, it's better than if they're using 15 tools poorly. But I had a hard time communicating that, and I realized it's because I was talking to someone with a fixed mindset who couldn't really understand that lean is about continuous improvement, not about fixing processes by implementing tools. So that's been, anyway, this growth mindset idea has been very helpful to me. And personally, I've learned from Mike Rother and Kata. I learned from this growth mindset. I've learned in a lot of ways that I've had a fixed mindset at various times in my career. For example, if somebody was doing something different from lean in the Toyota way, I would often assume that what they were doing was not as good as lean. It's not as good as the Toyota way. And now I think I'm more open to being interested in learning what they're doing, even if it's different from what I preach. And I also find that I'm trying not to make assumptions as quickly, not to judge people as quickly, not to assume I know the answer to a problem as quickly, and develop more of this growth mindset where when I think I know something, I question myself. Do I really know that? So that's been on my mind recently, and I think it's been helpful to me in my family relationships and relationships with friends, and also in my work.